Hi there. This is my presentation for legal aspects of teacher evaluation for Module 8. Obviously, I'm Mike Sturgis. One of the first articles that we had to summarize here was the Opportunity and Action Equaling Great Public Schools for Everyone, mainly focusing on the Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA, which ended the government's role really having anything to do with the teacher evaluation procedures and policy around the country. Some of the key provisions of ESSA. Standardized tests are no longer the defining measure of performance. It does require states to design their own short, interim, and long-term goals. And states have the opportunity to create or incorporate their own evaluation systems that are created on evidence of student achievement, student growth, and multiple measures of educator performance, which ran off the bottom there. Some multiple measures of educator school performance, developing those high quality evaluation tools, having clear and concise observation guidelines, good training, and observation methods, developing and providing training to those essential folk, the principals, the evaluators, the coaches, mentors, and others, and to develop a means of assessing the quality of evaluation support. Bargaining and advocacy implications. Review your existing state bargaining law and your contract for language on evaluation. It is your professional responsibility. It saves you in the end. If your state law allows, but does not require negotiations over evaluations, the savings clause language grants another avenue. What is a savings clause? Well, those are the rights preserving conditions. Savings clauses protect the SSA against any interference with existing state rights, local law, union agreement, etc. Continuing with bargaining and advocacy implications, evaluations should be meaningful, providing educators with concise and pertinent feedback linked to formal professional development. It should be able to be utilized. Improvement plans. Due process rights should be reflected when putting a plan into place. Furthermore, it should align, of course, with the due process rights of your contract. In the second article, we had teacher evaluation heads to the courts, where we had some examples of lawsuits being filed, like in this case in Florida with Cook versus Bennett, which was filed in the federal courts, which alleged that teachers and subjects with statewide testing are being assessed unfairly on the progress of the students they teach. The case resulted in the federal court judge ruling for the state, and the Court of Appeals affirmed it. The FEA decided against appealing to the Supreme Court of the United States in this case. Then we have NEA New Mexico versus Scandera. NEA New Mexico alleges that the state education department impermissibly imposed its new evaluation system, overriding a law giving school districts control over teacher evaluations. The case is still in progress. The state court denied the state's motion for judgment on the pleadings, and now it's going to proceed to discovery. Taylor versus Haslam. The TEA, Tennessee Education Association, alleges that a teacher missed out on a paid bonus because the test score based portion of her evaluation was based only on a fraction of her students, and that ruling is still pending. In Louisiana, the LFT argued that a 2002 law attaching teacher evaluations to tenure and pay ratings breached a constitutional provision requiring legislation to pertain to only one subject matter. A little bit different in this case. The court judge initially let the combined teacher quality provision stand, but after a second review went against it. Supreme Court reversed the state's decision, and now the union stated that it will pursue further changes through legislation. The third article was teacher evaluation and issue overview. Most teacher evaluations are created and utilized at the district county level, obviously. Traditionally, evaluations are relied heavily on classroom observation by your principal or administrator. The formal process is that a school uses to review the teacher's performance and the effectiveness in the classroom. Pretty simple. It's the hope that the evaluations are used to provide constructive feedback and to guide and enhance professional development and future teaching. Why has teacher performance evaluation become such a critical issue these days? Well, policymakers focused a large portion of their findings on removing ineffective teachers quickly and efficiently. An advocacy group in 2009 found that more than 99% of teachers in 12 districts that were studied ranked satisfactory on their evaluations, and that the firing of tenured teachers rarely ever occurred. Revamping teacher evaluations, some argue, helps teachers get a better grasp on the strengths and weaknesses and helps districts adapt future resources. How do teacher evaluation systems work? There are periodic observations of teachers tied to the teaching standards. Many states base half of each teacher's review on student achievement. There's a technique known as a value-added model that attempts to filter out areas of bias in the test growth to estimate how much a teacher contributes actually to student learning. And districts and states sometimes differ in how often teachers are observed and whether those observations are formal or informal. How have teacher unions responded to the new evaluations? They remain wary, especially when it's concerning connecting the systems to teacher pay and tenure. There have been quite a bit of lawsuits pertaining to teacher evaluations. Obviously, we just discussed that prior. Many unions highlighted the potential for better evaluations to provide significant feedback on the ability of teachers. Since only 15 to 30% of teachers instruct in grades which test data is available, some districts and states have devised additional testing, which makes sense. And unions have also said it's unfair for teachers in non-tested subjects to be judged on the scores of students or of the student they do not teach, as some states require. Kind of makes sense. Is there evidence that the new teacher evaluation strategies are working? That is not 100% clear. However, many states' new systems continue to be in the process of testing and refinement. Some initial studies have shown that teachers who receive high-quality feedback successively move on to increase student performance, so that's a good thing. One study on Washington, D.C.'s impact evaluation system found that teachers on the verge of dismissal or even on the verge of receiving a bonus generally went on to pull up their evaluations in the following year. My evaluation process. We are observed or evaluated, I should say, on 5 different domains here, which have a lot of subcategories, but the 5 domains are planning and preparation, learning and environment instruction, professional responsibilities, and student learning. All right, a little complicated here. Teachers on the summative cycle, evaluation cycle. Summative means you're not tenured, okay? Or if you are tenured, you're on the summative cycle once every 5 years, because therefore you need to be formally observed. In any of those cases, you're observed 2 times per year, formally. Teachers on the formative cycle are evaluated by a variety of means, and formal observations as well. SLO data, attendance, professional development sessions, PLC collaboration, family contact, parent conference forums, and all kinds of other professional responsibilities. Like I said, there are many, many, many subcategories to these 5 things over here. And those teachers on the formative cycle also do a self-evaluation. Our evaluation recourse process. Thankfully, don't have really any familiarity with this, thankfully. In a given year, no employee shall be terminated, I do know, from employment as a result of ineffective rating based solely on student growth. I believe it's sometimes you're assigned a mentor teacher, even though you're a veteran teacher in some cases. But if you decide against that, which many veteran teachers have, I've heard, they go to a plan of assistance. And as you can see on the left-hand side, these are the 5 guidelines of a plan of assistance. And again, thankfully, I do not have any familiarity with that. Knock on wood. Unlawful termination in Nevada. In Clark County, 15 teachers filed a lawsuit against their district claiming unlawful termination. The 15 teachers had received a series of negative evaluations and eventually lost their jobs. Claim that the district violated the contract rights and due process of the U.S. Constitution. Additionally, the lawsuit challenges Assembly Bill 225, passed in 2011, that removed long-standing protections for teachers who complete 2 years of probationary employment in Nevada schools. According to the lawsuit, the plaintiffs claim that they had been employed between 5 and 20 years before their termination. So, quite the dilemma there for those 15 teachers, and perhaps for the courts in Nevada in regards to this case. As a future administrator, how will I ensure the legal protocol of evaluations? Well, it's my professional responsibility. Again, know the procedures. Again, we are professionals. You've got to understand that. Sharing leadership. Create a little small task force or something as an oversight to ensure the legal procedures are being followed. Rely on your resources. Talk to those. Communicate with your superiors, even at central office. Monitor curriculum and instruction. Keep abreast of instructional matters that's going on in your school. Modeling is always essential. Use those staff meetings and professional development sessions. Utilize your instructional resource teachers. And communicate. It's always vital. I apologize for the mess up down here. I've done this 5 times. I still don't know why this is still continuing to look like that. Anyway, yes, so communicate is essential, even for veteran teachers. Keep that line of communication open. That's it. Thank you.